our last day on imagery today. And so, like, remember yesterday when we talked about the forest activity that I had, where I had y'all like kind of stand up. Well, I didn't have y'all stand up. Y'all kind of took it upon yourselves to do that, which I don't mind. I actually really enjoyed that when y'all kind of like did all that. So imagine it was actually like really, it was kind of cool, and it kind of taught me that like y'all kind of learned it, kind of learned in different ways. So I definitely took note of that. So what we're doing today is I have y'all in pairs, and I decided to kind of do it last minute, like with pairs, because I felt that, you know, working in pairs, like y'all could just bounce ideas off of each other, and it just kind of stimulates, like, you know, talking to one another, and like y'all can just bounce ideas off of each other. Now, quick little review. We are doing imagery. Just a quick little informative review. Who can tell me what imagery is again? Who can tell me what imagery? Imagery. What is imagery? We have a story or something that uses the five senses, but it does use the five senses. But what are we doing? We are imagining something. We're imagining things, and we're imagining things using those five senses. When we're imagining something and we need to tell about certain things, we're doing what? Starts with a D. We're describing it, meaning we're using like descriptive language. And then, you know, sometimes like using descriptive language to describe our five things that use the five senses, we have figurative language. What are some figurative language examples that we have, such as like what? Like, you know, for example, like a metaphor, or we could use a
simile,
or a personification, or a. We got one more. Like we said, simile. Aiden.
metaphor.
Huh?
Metaphor.
So we had metaphor. We had simile. It starts with O. What?
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia.
We just said that.
I know you said.
Yeah, you said
Oh, my bad. I didn't even hear you. My bad. That was my fault. So remember yesterday. So remember yesterday when I read that, you know, read my story that I wrote for the imagery activity example. You know, I didn't label where it had like onomatopoeia, personification, and all of that. However, I did label where I did use my descriptive language in the five senses. And if you look on your example page, if y'all all want to click on there, you'll notice that I color coded it. Now, you don't have to worry about the color coding until you're done actually writing the story. But I want y'all all to like click on that example right quick.
Mr. Joe, but can you tell us the little forest thing again before we do this?
The little what thing?
Can you do that little forest thing again before we do this?
The little forest thing. If you need the little forest thing, if you click on the other thing on your assignment right there, it shows like the exact thing I read off of, and it has everything on there. Now, before we start writing, I want you to talk with your partner for a bit. I'm gonna probably set like a timer for like 5 minutes. Hold on, y'all. Wait, I'm done talking. I'm gonna set a timer. I want you to talk with your partner and just kind of like bounce. You can jot down ideas. You can bounce off ideas to each other. And I just want y'all to kind of jot down ideas that y'all think y'all can do for your story. And you remember, it has to follow that same, like, you know, story about being on a path, going in a forest, and you know how they ended up on somewhere else. It doesn't have to be a beach like mine. If you read the little thing on there, it'll show you that you know, it can be a beach, it can be a forest, it can be anything you want. It's your imagination, because it's not a personal narrative, but it's just like a narrative. So, any questions before we start? Caitlin? Huh? You can decide if you want to do one. I do one. And then put both of your names on it. Any other questions over here? Alright, so I'm going to set my timer right quick. I'm going to set my timer up here on the board. And for 5 minutes, or at least, actually, for like, I'm going to probably give y'all about 10 minutes. Keep it low, come on. partner about what you want to do with your story. Come on, Brian.
Just what did that third that was good.
Hold on. Yeah. All right, ask the question. Yes, so you see this scenario right here. If you click on your classroom, it should be like right there. This is the exact thing that I wrote. Well, it's not that I wrote it. This is the exact thing I read to y'all yesterday. Remember when you get to the woods, you find yourself on the path, and you talk about how does the path feel under your feet and stuff? It's that same format. Y'all are gonna pretend that y'all are on the path together. And you gotta read these questions right here. Like those are just like little suggestions. Like how does the path feel under your feet? Is it smooth? Is it rough? Slippery? Soft? What noise does it make under your feet when you walk? You know, just stuff like that. You're writing the story. You know, but you know, these are just to help you like describe the things you like see or feel or touch or, you know, smell on your path. You know what I mean? So 10 minutes just discussing what you think you'll put. Talk what make your story about. Based off of that. My example is my class.
Yes.
Here it is right here. You okay?
I'm doing that.
It's scroll down my bad. Right there. I'm gonna come right here later in just a second.
You know, we were doing a story, and I came up with the Ella's Adventure. Can we do 2 people?
I mean, like, so do you want to just do like Ella and Ella?
Yeah.
I mean, Ella and Ella's Adventure. So where we going?
We're going to Aunt
We're
Brenda's.
going to Aunt Brenda's house. But y'all finna go see, y'all probably finna see, smell, and touch and feel some crazy things on the way to Aunt Ella, to Aunt whose house? To Aunt Brenda's house. All right, no, not Auntie Brenda.
Can we do the five cities?
Well, you're going to be using the 5 senses to describe certain things in your stories. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I read mine? Like, look at pull up my example right here.
Mr. Jackson won't let me scroll.
Jax, remember to raise your hand, because they raised my hand, they were waiting patiently. So I'm going to get to you in just a second. So go back to my class. Go back to right, my example right there. Y'all not having access to my example, actually. Hold on, just a second, wait. Just a second.
It's red tide. The color is red tide. You know, like red tide.
It was red what?
Water.
So it's red water. So remember, what type of figurative language do you think you could use to like be more descriptive with it? Like to describe it, like, you know, like, you know, just say, instead of saying like the water was just red tide, you could just say the water was. Turn that into like a simile. How would you turn that into a simile?
Water was red.
Think Right. What two words do we use with a simile? So how would you turn that into a simile? The water was red as a. Red as blood. Okay, I like that. Or
You said pathway walk on going to the jungle. Yes. We find poetry papers. Look like someone had been here before.
mm-hmm.
The water was a boat.
Malaysia, if you need an example, you can come look at my example up here. So what was your question again?
Okay, so I just learned up when I was in my so I had to take all of them. And I was going to the dog, so I had lost the dog and I had water.
Look at my example. Look. Think about it. Now go back to the this thing. See it says the directions right here. Imagine that you are in the forest and think about the weather. Think about the weather. Think about how the weather is, what season it is. You know, stuff like that. You know, huh? You're not gonna do the same exact story. You know, I did mine about like a beach. Yours would be like, you know, you're on a path in a forest and you come across, you know, something else. Remember y'all were working on a story together.
Oh, so I gotta write the same thing?
No, you can just do it on one computer.
No, like I'll walk into his house, he'll walk into my house.
Or
And
like-
then like we find each other, then like we saw a pool and all that.
You can, if that's your story, I like that idea. You know, y'all walk into each other's houses, or you just kind of ran into each other.
Then when we wake up, we're gonna act like we're gonna be at home for 3 years.
See what we got here.
And then you wake up when you touch him. Wake up and it was like, so now like 2099, he been out coma for like 5 years. 5 years.
Put a period.
You go check on his mom and his dad.
And then they be dead.
Yes, and you be wondering what happened to him.
Sorry to interrupt y'all, but what's y'all's
No,
story?
but
It's like,
it's
like he
Going
like a
to
diamond.
like,
It's like they pick up one single diamond rod, it's like the size of their hand, put it down, and then the man literally starts chasing them. That's the dumbest thing I think I've ever
So
wrote, but
slow
it's
down.
funny.
So what happened?
So it's like he was walking into, you didn't put a beginning.
But tell me, Aiden.
It was like he walking, he was like a mysterious path, and as he walked down, right, he picked up stone, you know, that stone was a diamond size of my hand, as I You're not spelling it right.
It's okay. We'll fix the spelling errors and stuff like that later.
Then I put this part in. I walked down to two views. You gotta put these.
I walked down the
Down the
path.
Wendy path, I saw a man, but these stones were so hard. I felt mine want to go through my shoes.